Hi guys, and welcome to Cultnomics. My name is Paul Hanley, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about problems with fiscal policy. A number of problems arise with fiscal policy and the implementation of this by the government. We will outline these in this video, and the first one up will be the time lag. So there's both what's called inside lags in fiscal policy to recognize that there is a need for fiscal policy change, to make the decision democratically, get that through the budget. There's outside lags in terms of setting up contracts, maybe if it's construction, to implement it, and the effectiveness of fiscal policy out there in the economy. There's also a crowding out effect of fiscal policy on private investment. This means that expansionary fiscal policy can increase interest rates, which can crowd out the private sector and their investment because interest rates are too high and they can't get a rate of return. Number 3, there is Ricardian Equivalence, which means that if the government says that they're going to drop the tax on income, for example, income tax, people might be very happy about that, but they might soon think, well, this might not last for very long, therefore we can save this extra money and we can pay back the increase in tax that's inevitable later on. Number 4, determining the size and the nature of fiscal policy is an issue. Because these fiscal policy can have lags and because there can be issues in terms of the magnitude of it and the multiplier effect, it's very hard to determine how much should be spent and how long this recession will last. Number 5, there's open economies and leakages, so that even if the government spends on fiscal policy, a lot of this money may leak out if people spend that extra money on imports. So the multiplier might be quite low in this case here, and the effectiveness of fiscal policy low. Consumer sentiment may be low as well if expansionary fiscal policy is undertaken during a recession, in which case consumers may just save an awful lot of the extra income that they receive. And if they're saving it, again, this is a leakage out of the economy and the fiscal multiplier will be low because of that. Number 7, there is diminishing returns to investment. So the marginal efficiency of investment may be quite low. So the more the government invests in new capital equipment, the lower the productivity and the return on this. And that may be a hindrance. Number 8, the public debt overhang. If the government has built up such a debt overhang that it struggles to borrow on international markets, well then they can't actually finance their fiscal expansion in this case here. So they may be hindered by an overhang of public debt that's been accumulated right when they need it. Number 9, what we see here is there are policy constraints in that the government may have signed up to, for example in Europe, a fiscal compact whereby they have to keep their national debt at 60%, their annual deficit at 3%, and if they've made these kind of agreements, there are usually penalties in place that they will be penalised if they increase or expand fiscal policy beyond this. In terms of number 10 then, there is a political business cycle whereby fiscal policy may be expansionary right at a time when the economy is overheating because politicians may want to be voted back in, and therefore this can hinder the effectiveness of fiscal policy because it's based on politics rather than the health of the macroeconomic economy. And number 11, there are other economic shocks that may hinder fiscal policy if you're expanding it, and because at that time as well the oil prices go up, that may have an impact on your fiscal policy, or maybe a financial crisis or stock market plummet, and that will impact as well on the effectiveness of fiscal policy. And finally, your currency may appreciate as well due to expansionary fiscal policy, because interest rates may rise, and this will cause an appreciation of currency, and the stronger this gets, the less competitive your exports are, and this may cause your economy to contract in terms of your export market and impact on competitiveness. I hope you call back to Cultnomics soon. Bye for now.